I am one of those evil VCs that was referred to earlier by our Comcast friend. So at least you have one of us up here, and I don't know what you guys want to do to me, but please don't. I'm also one of the elite white males, so I'm definitely feeling at risk up here. I've been a venture capitalist now for 22 years, and I've had the pleasure of backing Facebook, SpaceX, Honest Company, Dollar Shave, a whole host of others. What I've found in my personal philosophy is that venture capital is an honor because we get to work with entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship, I define as the ultimate in heroic acts, right? Entrepreneurship is about going into an uncertain world, putting everything at risk, and facing every single one of your demons that go all the way back to your childhood. We call it the Sunday night, right? The fearful Sunday night. And so these people, against all odds, push forward to make a difference. It's also what gives me hope about the future. As a venture capitalist, I view our responsibility much like a coach to look at entrepreneurship, look at venture capital as a forum, a platform for personal development. Because when you're in the midst of that forest, you're facing your demons, you're taking on the world, everything's being thrown up in the air, and it's our job as a venture capitalist, if we're actually doing our job and not just looking for the bottom line, to help you through that journey. In fact, for all of us to help those entrepreneurs going through their journey. What I like about this panel is this is a group of people who are focused on trying to help people go through that journey. Now, I'd picked this topic, and my topic that I wanted to do this introduction around was innovation as a two-edged sword. And we had seen in the course of a couple of days, 5 days, a robotics play for dishwashing, a robotics play for warehouse, a robotics play for inventory management. Otto had just done its trial run. Uber was expanding its autonomous driving activities, a couple of AI plays. And I remember thinking to myself, oh my God, if we don't figure out how to leverage all this technology to bring everyone up, the bottom 40% of our economy is at risk, right? Through automation, AI, machine learning. On the other hand, that machine learning and everything can help them become stronger. The Iron Man, right? The Iron Man suit that actually makes them better at what they do. Well, fast forward 2 weeks later, and what happens with the vote, right? So we're right in the midst of the forest right now. And I think that the dialogue that's going to come out of that is going to be incredibly powerful. And what it gives me also hope is we have the greatest innovation engine in the history of all mankind going on right now. We have nothing less than, I call it the Venture Capitalist Employment Act, nothing less than 12 revolutions all occurring simultaneously. AI, machine learning, genomics, longevity research, cloud computing, mobile, social. Never in the history of mankind have we had so many tools, a mosaic of tools for which to make a difference, to make an impact. The question is, like the old story about the two wolves, which one are we going to feed? What are we going to apply this innovation to? And since that sword cuts both ways, the question then at the end of the day is, how do we take that sword and use it for the betterment of all mankind and to raise all boats, right? From my perspective, there was a speech I heard by Bob Chapman, who was Simon Sinek's mentor, and Simon was interviewing him on stage, and he said his corporation, which is an industrial services company, it's a really ugly industry, but when you go to their website, he says the following, and this is where I view impact is not what you focus on necessarily. Yes, you can do solar panels and clean water, but more importantly is you could do emojis, right? But if how you go about and do emojis, and how you develop your people, and how you teach them to live life, and how to face their dragons, and how to become the highest version of themselves, then the company itself becomes the impact, not necessarily what the company is focused on at the end of the day. And so Bob Chapman says, our job is to help identify talents, to develop talents, to share talents, and to celebrate talents. We just happen to use industrial services to do this. Think about that. Every single one of you, in terms of your job, can have social impact, and you don't have to feed the hungry to do it. You can just get up in the morning and try and do two things. One, be the highest version of yourself that day, given the constraints, and if you just woke up on the wrong side of the bed, that level is probably going to be down here. The second is, everyone around you, ask yourself, how can I help them in service to others? How can I make them better? How can I help them? And you know what's amazing? Is when you have gratitude, when you're helping other people, it's impossible for you to be self-focused and angry and all of these other things that we're seeing. So with that, we have several interesting speakers and panels coming up here. We're very excited. They're focused around this idea of access to opportunity, training, making people better.